talk about the language processing component of the OpenCog. So as we know, the NLP plays a big role for the AGI or AI, and now currently the NLP work are focused on a very narrow area like machine learning and text mining or something. As we know, the narrow natural language processing achieved some goals, which could have many practical stuff. But I think it's a common sense that the only language was interacted with the other perceptions, and which could help understanding the language better, and also the language could make other perception recognition work better. I'm happy to find a platform, OpenCog, to do the cognitive-based natural language processing. So as this is the sub-project for the OpenCog, so I'm going to talk the roughly view of the natural part of the OpenCog framework. So as the knowledge base of the OpenCog is called AtomSpace, and the language part is basically interacted with the AtomSpace. So the dashed arrow for this architecture is not implemented yet. But I'm sure we are going to keep working on it later. And before introducing the current framework of the language pipeline, I want to mention that for the OpenCog, we had a barely worked language pipeline before, which is based on some traditional language processing approach, like first do some syntactic parsing, and then transfer from the syntactic to semantic parse. Then do some concept-based, we used some ontology called FrameNet to transfer from the RelEx to syntactical semantic representation to some concept-based representation, which is based on AtomSpace too. Then for the output of the language part, which is called natural language generation, we also implemented a system called NLGen. So I worked on NLGen for like a year and a half or something. So when I implemented the NLGen, I found a lot of problems. So like we need a corpus, so we need a corpus to do the subgraph matching. But then we find that it's hard to build the corpus because the link parser we used was the dictionary based, so it just gave a lot of ambitious results for the language. So we have to do the pass ranking to generate a very yeah. So to build the corpus, we have to do some pass ranking to gather more available courses. But when I did the path ranking, and it also caused some problem because the link dictionary stuff didn't work that well with the whole process. So finally we gave up the older framework. So we designed the new approach, which is just make the whole process more simplified and avoid a lot of error transmission by each step. So the framework for the current work is from syntax directly to the concept part, which we use some rule created by human by hand coding, and do some subgraph mining and inferences to generate the AtomSpace representation. And for the language generation part, it's about the reverse process of the language comprehension. So we basically use the logic inference, which is also a component of OpenCog, which is called a PLN, and you use some constraint satisfaction algorithm to generate a syntactic path representation, and then from the syntactic part to do some other post-processing work to generate well-formed sentences. So the Link Parser is developed by the CMU, and it's basically a dictionary-based parser. The basic idea of Link Parser is just consider the words as blocks with connected coming in and coming out. So for each word, they have one or more connectors, which might be come out or come in, and also the link parser has some global. The link grammar has some global rules, which is called connectarity, which means the connector, the link couldn't cross to each other, like the top graph. The link between horse and fish, and the link between cat and dog cross to each other. So that doesn't make sense. So it's not a sentence. And also each node or word should be connected with each other. Like the second graph, and the cat horse doesn't connect with the dog and fish, so that's also not a sentence. And also the last graph gives a correct example of the link path representation. This is the boring example for the link path output. So the first node left void just to satisfy the link grammar's global rules, which is the connect. Each node should be connected. And the RelEx is the old rule-based system for mapping the link passage into some syntactical semantic relationship. For our current work, we just use it temporarily to make some hand-coded corpus to map the link passes the representation to the AtomSpace representation, since it's more convenient for human to understand by the RelEx representation. So this is the same example as we generate from the link parser, from the link parsers to the output of RelEx. So the left part of the RelEx output is we call binary relationship, which is just some dependency relation between two words, and the leftover relationships are just for unary relation. It's only for the word properties of like it's a definitive article and something, and some part of speech of the word. Since we need a corpus to connect the link parsers to AtomSpace representation, so we just use the RelEx to we hand coded some rules to map RelEx to AtomSpace. This is the same example as the part. So now, since after that correct mapping, so now we have some large corpus of sentences with link parsers corresponding to the AtomSpace representation. So we can use some subgraph mining to find the frequent subgraph in the corpus of link parsers and can get the corresponding AtomSpace representation. So we can get some semantic mapping rule from directly the link parsers representation to the atom structure. So here's the example of the subgraph of the link parsers to the AtomSpace representation. So after we map that, then it's all logic. It's a logic representation. So we can use many logic systems to do the inference work. So basically, this is all the language comprehension part works. The next part, I'm going to talk about the language generation part. So the language generation is just the opposite. The opposite is just convert the AtomSpace structure to some sentences. So, like given some collection of atom chosen for expression, first we just apply the reverse version of the comprehension rules and get some subtree of link parsers and use basically just use the constraint satisfaction to connect the different subtrees. Most of the constraints just try to agree with the link grammar, and also we have our own constraint to make the problem simple. So I'm going to explain the language generation part with the example. Like we first assume we have a expression AtomSpace representation for a sentence we want to generate. So the PRN can generate a new node for a specific person, like replace the variable x or y to a person 1. Just generate a new node for a specific person, and also use some frequent pattern pattern recognition or something, then we can find a frequent pattern of different parts of these sentences, of this sentence. So then we can apply the reverse of the language comprehension rules to generate different link path subtrees, like the right part of this graph. So after that, we can use the constraint certification to combine these the two subtrees. Then we use some word planning algorithm and some post-processing part, which is based on the language model or something, to make the sentence more polished or well formed. So thanks.